Broadcasting live from the Vegas Video Network studios, just steps from the Las Vegas Strip. It's time to get on the right side of sports betting. It's time for the Odds Couple.
Welcome to the Odds Couple on the Vegas Video Network. My name is Scott Pritchard, alongside my good friend and co-host Anthony Padilla.
Thanks, Scotty. Always happy to be here. Today we're going to be discussing why Rex Ryan's sense of patriotism has nothing to do with the love of his country, why Jonathan Vilma is anything but a saint, and why 5,000 for 5, that'll let you roll with the big dogs, but 500 for 3, it's going to get you left at the pound.
Let's get it going with Attack the Line. The Baltimore Ravens are at the Houston Texans on Sunday. The total for this game on Sunday night opened 45.5. The early money was on the over, bet up to 47. Right now today it's settled in at 48.5.
Yeah, you know, I don't really understand in this game why it's continued to climb. Baltimore, I mean, this is funny because it's a tale of two 5-1 teams, but completely different ends of the spectrum. Houston is a very strong 5-1. Their one loss coming last week against Green Bay. Green Bay obviously just showed up and was the team that everybody was waiting for since day one. Houston kind of laid down a little bit. Baltimore, on the other hand, in their last two games, they barely squeaked one out at Kansas City, 9-6, and for all intents and purposes, just got dismantled by the Cowboys and somehow still came out ahead in that game, but for all intents and purposes, lost. 48 points is a lot of points. Ray Lewis is now out, one of the best defensive players in the league, let alone his team. That offense is struggling again. Last week they only had the ball for 20 minutes. If that happens again, they're certainly not going to put up the points. And they gave up 200-plus rushing yards against the Cowboys. And Houston obviously is a very strong running team. They can do it through the air as well. I see a lot of points from Houston, definitely not Baltimore. I'm going to go under in this game.
The Baltimore Ravens, I commend them. They're 5-1. Congratulations. Just one loss on the season. But I'm telling you, this team is a bit of a fraud. I've been mentioning the past few weeks that the defense for the Ravens has been underachieving the entire year. Ray Lewis gone. Suggs, their best defensive player, gone the entire season. He may come back in the next week or two, but it doesn't look like he'll be playing on Sunday. And Webb, their best corner, now got hurt. He's gone. But even with those guys in the lineup, namely Lewis and Webb, defensively 26th against the run and 22nd against the pass. The Cowboys, as you know, I was on Dallas plus the 3.5 against Baltimore. Baltimore won the game but did not cover. Very fortunate for the Ravens to win that contest. Defensively, they're just not the same team. Offensively, I like what I see. Joe Flacco, he's up and down, more down than up, but he does have game. He does have talent. What I like about the Ravens offense, it starts and stops with Ray Rice, their stud running back. Now, the Houston Texans, let's take a look at that team. I mentioned to my good buddy Anthony a week ago that this team, not quite as good as their record would indicate. In fact, 3 weeks ago, we talked about that here on the Odds Couple. They were unbeaten, untied at that time, but since that time, 0-2 against the number as they struggled as a double-digit favorite at home against the Jets, only winning by 6, and last week getting embarrassed on national TV at home against the Green Bay Packers. So, do we attack this line? It opened 45.5. It's up to 48.5. I say yes. Attack! Don't be afraid. Attack this line. I have not bet this contest yet. All the money has come in on the over. I'm going to see how high it goes, and then I will attack and bet the under 48.5. Up next, we have the Green Bay Packers taking on the St. Louis Rams. This line opened 4. Packers minus the 4. It's been bet up to 5. And now at the win, it's 6, dog 15.
Yeah, you know what? In this game, I'll give St. Louis some credit. I mean, you got to give them their due. Jeff Fisher's restored a whole new life into that team. You know, there's a difference between a team that can win versus a team that believes they can win. And the Rams have been so bad the last few years, and he's just brought a whole new mentality to that squad. Now, here's the problem. This is the Green Bay Packers. And again, this is a Packers team that's coming off finally the game that everybody's been waiting for. A little bit extra to Rodgers' momentum this week is actually Rodgers got called out. I don't know how many people saw this. Shannon Sharp actually called out Aaron Rodgers, saying that he's quick to point fingers. You know, there's a difference between being a good player and a good person. This really is going to get under Rodgers' skin. Not only did he reciprocate comments back to Shannon Sharp, but you know in that locker room, this is something that's going to go on in his head. His teammates are obviously aware of it. Everybody knows what the expectations are. But Aaron Rodgers has something to prove to him. and he's going to come out and do whatever he can. And unfortunately, St. Louis is going to be the team it gets taken out on. I really think as much credit as I give St. Louis this season for everything they're doing right, Sam Bradford is definitely holding his own, putting together that offense and keeping them tight-knit. I think this is where Rodgers is going to come out once again and take them apart, and I see them winning by probably a touchdown.
People and sports bettors in particular, we tend to remember what we saw most recently. Odds makers feel the same way. Well, the Packers looked great Sunday night against the Houston Texans. That was a road game for Green Bay. They won going away. Aaron Rodgers stepped up, looked like the Aaron Rodgers of the past couple of years that we've been accustomed to seeing. So that's why the line has moved from 4 to 5 to 6, a touch of 6 at the win, dog 15, meaning you can lay the Packers -6, -5, as opposed to minus the 10 cents. So the Green Bay Packers finally played up to their capabilities. They're 3-3. They're one of the best 500 teams in all of football. Now, the St. Louis Rams, this is interesting because the Rams, a nondescript, average football team, yet 32 teams in the league, there's only one number one. The St. Louis Rams are number one. ATS against the spread. That's all we care about. Forget who wins the game. Who covered, baby? Show me the money. The Rams, 5-1 ATS against the spread. Do you attack this line? I respectfully am going to pass.
All right, now, Rodgers. Did you see what Shannon Sharp said?
I did. I don't much care. I don't care about the locker room banter. Just when it's time to play ball.
Sure, but how do you feel about, a Hall of Famer calling out a current all-star quarterback? Because, regardless of what anybody thinks, you're putting that guy on blast in front of the nation. And so obviously if everybody in the world knows about it, certainly all the guys in that locker room, are now aware of it. Don't you feel it adds a little bit of pressure on everybody?
I absolutely do, and the concern I have with it is you don't throw a comrade under the bus. It's about camaraderie, fellowship. You win as a team, you lose as a team. Aaron Rodgers, no one can question his ability, talent-wise. What his teammate was saying basically was that Aaron Rodgers lacked leadership. I'm not buying it.
Now, we should clarify, Shannon Sharp is not a teammate of Aaron Rodgers. He's an ex-player, now current Hall of Famer, but he was commenting with regard to just what he sees in Aaron Rodgers. And I'm telling you, man, all these guys who do all these commercials, I just stop. I feel like that's something. All right, I can't even talk about that right now because it never bodes well for guys the next season. They have 30 commercials. How's Peyton doing? Peyton and whatever. All right, you know what? It's time to spin and win. That always calms me down a little bit. And spin to win, as you know, this is for the better who bets with their heart instead of their head. We want to flip that mentality because obviously if you're going to win some money, you can't do that. It's for the guy in Chicago who's got a wife who looks like Dick Butkus, and that's exactly why he married her. His dog is named Ditka. Polish sausage for breakfast. Just the guy to a fault will bet on his team, but you can't always do that. So today we have the New York Jets heading to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots. Patriots are favored by 10.5. The lovely Tara is going to spin the wheel. Scotty and I, as you know, are forced to take whatever team the wheel lands on. Scotty will go first. I'll make arguments for the opposing team. We'll give you both sides, and you can decide. Wow, Scotty,
I've never seen you tongue-tied.
I'm so flustered about this because I just can't believe we're doing the Patriots again, and I'm trying so hard to just talk around that, but your love for this team is just sickening. Just get to the wheel. Tara, please.
Scotty's got the Patriots.
The luck of the draw, I get to sell my Patriots. This is the easiest sell I've ever had. The Patriots minus 10.5. This has got to be a bargain. Forget the record. 3 wins, 3 losses for the Patriots. All lines, all records are not created equally. The Patriots lost by 1, lost by 1, lost by 2. They're an eyelash away from being 6-0. All things being, think about that. They're 500, and yet they're favored by double digits. The odds makers, I don't like sportsbook supervisors and ticket writers, but I respect odds makers. A lot of respect for the Patriots. Right now, the favorite to win the AFC Conference at 3-3. That should tell you something. I bet the Patriots at 5-1 in August. Today, the best price you can get on them is about $240. Houston Texans, about $240. And, of course, the Baltimore Ravens at about $435 in the islands, the best number. But let's stay on the Patriots. The fact is they're a very good team against the run, which is the only thing the Jets can do. They run the ball. They can't pass. The Patriots, I'm telling you, they struggle when teams pass effectively against them. But again, we're talking about Mark Sanchez and the New York Jets. New England Patriots, outstanding running game. Tom Brady is the man. Patriots minus the 10.5. See the cashier.
All right, all I heard right there, Scotty, was lose, lose, lose. I don't care if it's by 1 or by 20. You know, the thing about this is, see, Tara is so upset that we're talking about this game that she decided to make a point to just end it because I'm sick of it. Look, it doesn't matter. The Patriots are the team of the past. Just nobody proves that point better than you, Scott. They're a team of the past, and 10.5, are you kidding? How much credit can you give these guys? Look, even Rex Ryan. What is happening to Rex Ryan coming out and saying that, you know, Bill Belichick, greatest coach? Are you kidding? Rex, what are you doing, man? This is now how you're building up your team to hype up the opposing coach? That's absurd. Look, are the Jets going to win this game? No. But they're going to certainly lose by less than 10.5. So, you know, I would like to argue for them, but they're going to put Tebow at running back, probably a better place for him. And that's it. That's all they got going for them. So 10.5, a little bit steep. They'll probably lose by a touchdown. That's the best I can take the Jets.
I give you credit for having to sell Tim Tebow in the Jets, Jets. Tough sale.
Look, man, that's a tough team. You know, I mean, for all intents and purposes, this is going to be like this used to be a big game. You know, it used to be a New England, New York, the battle of the coaches and the players. But now New England's getting old. You know, the Jets are kind of falling apart, and you've got Tebow who, like, he's an in-your-face guy, but if he's not in the game, whose face is he going to get in? I don't know. It's kind of a.
The Jets have struggled, but yet it is a big game early in the season because it's a division game. And whoever wins this game will certainly have the inside track to the division. Again, I just think the Patriots win this contest.
Of course you do. Of course you
Shocking,
do.
I know.
It's shocking that we're talking about the Patriots another
Well,
week.
remember this,
right,
though. The Patriots, yes, I'm on the Patriots with good reason. They're 4-2. A winning proposition, ATS against the number.
Can't stand
Listen and learn, my friend.
Come over to the Cowboys anytime, Scott. We're waiting. All right, look, while we discuss how we're going to talk about the Patriots next week, we're going to head to a break. And when we come back, on the Odds Couple, we'll be discussing Scott's betting proposal for this weekend and why Vilma just needs to go already because he is anything but a saint. You're watching the Odds Couple right here on the Vegas Video Network.
Traditional media believes that after about 3 minutes, you'll tune out. Most Vegas media companies think if it doesn't jiggle, you won't tune in. At the Vegas Video Network, we think both are wrong. The Vegas Video Network is the first and only live online broadcast network that specializes in insider news and expert views about Vegas. We combine great storytelling with the ability to watch when and where you want on your computer, mobile device, or television. Discover the real Las Vegas. Visit VegasVideoNetwork.com.
Welcome back. Wardrobe malfunction here. That's why we do live Vegas Video Network. My name is Scott Pritchard. You're watching The Odds Couple. I'm alongside my good friend and fellow co-host Anthony Padilla. Now, to reach out to us, a number of things that you can do. We would love to see you and hear you on our network. All you need to do is go to our website. Well, before you even do that, go ahead and email us at oddscouple@vegasvideonetwork.com. That's oddscouple@vegasvideonetwork.com. Also reach out to us through web-based voicemail by going to our site. On the right-hand side, you'll see a red bar. Click on that. In the middle of the page, a green bar. Hit start record, and your voice will be on our show. We would love that. Also, keep those live chat questions coming. Anything to do with sports betting, you have an opinion, share it right here on the Vegas Video Network Odds Couple. If you miss this live, it's okay. Check us out, iTunes, YouTube, Roku. Saturday, we're rebroadcast on KSHP Radio. That's AM 1460. That's AM 1460. KSHP Radio. Make it 1400. Okay, I've had trouble with numbers. Professional sports bettor, I'm great with numbers and odds, but when it comes to regular numbers, I don't even remember my phone number. So AM 1460 KSHP Radio. Now, we're going to continue talking about football, handicapping, who we like, who we don't like this weekend, but let's talk some baseball. How about them Tigers?
Man, what a fun series that was to watch. Just anytime the Yankees lose, it's great. But if they get swept, and it just makes everything in life all right. You know, and Verlander this guy's just got everything going for him right now. You know, he's won 3 consecutive starts. 2 of the 3 were complete games. He went 8 1/3 the other night. He's dating Kate Upton. Like, how does life get better for this guy? It really can't. Like, this guy has the life everybody wants right now. The only thing I'm concerned with is I hope that this coming week, as they prepare for the World Series, at some point that bad game is going to come, and I really hope that it's not in the World Series.
Well, they've really picked a great time to start peaking because I'm telling you, this team underachieved. Going into the season, I like the Tigers based on their free agent acquisitions, but they underachieved. Defensively, I have to say that there are weaknesses to every team. The Tigers, their defense is bad. Their bullpen, bad, but they have great starting pitching, and they're starting to hit the ball like we thought they would throughout the course of the season. So congratulations to the Tigers. They're on their way to the World Series, having just swept the New York Yankees. Now, back to the odds couple, Vegas Video Network. I forgot just for a second. All right, are you kidding me?
I've got a different kind of beef this week. It's with Jonathan Vilma of the New Orleans Saints. Dude, you're anything but a Saint right now. I don't really understand what you're trying to accomplish at this point. If for any reason anybody has been under that proverbial rock for the past 8 months to a year, the Saints, there was the bounty scandal, it's Bountygate. Roger Goodell came in and took some action, got rid of some coaches, got rid of some players for a number of games. Since day one, Jonathan Vilma's biggest gripe has been that he did, in fact, not personally put up money to put towards guys taking out players from opposing teams. Nobody's ever had his back in this. Everybody else has argued, that the NFL is not doing the right thing. Vilma, enough already. Like, you can only appeal so many times before you're going to get what you ask for. Because here's the thing. Roger Goodell says that he protects the NFL, and that's the most important thing. Now, unfortunately, the courts have ordered the NFL to turn over their documents, and if it comes out, I've just got to say, in real life, that is not the NFL, if a gentleman or a person were to put up money towards somebody else getting hurt, last I checked, that was putting a hit out on somebody, and you go to jail for that. So just because it's within the confines of the NFL doesn't mean that it's going to be any different. And if that comes to light, Jonathan Vilma, then apparently this was not worth it. If you're not learning anything from Lance Armstrong about not doing the right thing in this situation, well, then maybe you're going to have to learn the hard way. But this is enough. You need to go away, and you come back this week, and I hate to say it, I really hope that, is it bad to say that you hope that somebody makes a play that costs your team the game? That's how I feel right now. Are you kidding me? Just stop, Vilma.
We're talking about what frustrates you in the world of sports, specifically in the world of sports betting. You don't have to look far to look for frustration when it comes to sports betting. Are you kidding me? I have to say, we're all aware of prevent defense, and the old analogy is it prevents you from winning. I'm going to go to the other side of the coin and talk specifically about prevent offense. I've seen too many teams in the NFL who are so extremely conservative, they fall in love with clock management and they overdo it. How many times late in the game will you see a team trying to protect a 6-7 point lead, and the other team, they force them to use their timeouts, but the fact is they leave too much time on the clock, and the other team comes down and kicks a game-winning field goal or scores a late touchdown. I'm talking about years ago, Mike Martz of the St. Louis Rams. I love this guy because he would win by 30 points. He didn't care what down it was. He didn't care how much time was on the clock. He just played football. One game, one time, it came back to bite him. One time. He lost his nerve. He was never the same coach. He overreacted like every other coach in the National Football League. Today, I'm talking about today's New England Patriots. I love Bill Belichick, the coach of the Pats, because he goes for it. He's a gambler. He's a gunslinger. But again, a couple of years ago, he went for it on 4th and 2 at his own 28-yard line against the Colts and lost. He hasn't been the same since. Come on, be who you are. Be loud. Be proud. I'm talking about prevent offense. I've seen every single week. All you have to do, forget the clock, forget the other team using timeouts, pick up the first down. The game is over. Are you kidding me? All right, glad that's over. This is the part of the show where Anthony and I put money, Anthony, not to be confused with Anthony, Anthony and I, speaking is my life, Anthony and I put money in your pocket by putting you on the right side.
Well, it only took us to get to week 7 for me to finally start talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And this week, the Dallas Cowboys are traveling to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Cowboys are favored by 2.5 in this game. Cowboys have a lot going for them. You've got Tony Romo coming off another good game last week, really solid game against Baltimore. You know, it can't be said enough. They controlled the ball for 40 minutes in that game. They did everything right, over 200 yards rushing. Tony put up great numbers through the air. The little bit of passing that he did do, no mistakes. Well, one key turnover in the first half, but it wasn't anything that cost them the game. Special teams struggled a little bit again. The defense finally looked like, you know, the team that you've been waiting for. The one downfall of this team is you don't know week to week which squad is going to show up. However, I really think coming off the bye last week, heading to Baltimore, that showed a lot of grit because Baltimore is a good team. Now they're without their players, but Dallas, notably, are the ones that put out Ray Lewis. So going forward, this team has a lot of positives. It's just a matter if they can put it together. Now, adversely, you have the Carolina Panthers, who they're coming off of a bye week, hosting the Dallas Cowboys. You've got Cam Newton, who once again, you know, just when you think he's hitting that sophomore slump, he's got a great game, and then all of a sudden he struggles again. You know, then they head into a bye. And Cam had a really strong talk with his father over the weekend, which he feels reinstilled a little something more in him, you know, to remind him of his greatness, if you will. And that can be a dangerous thing in a young guy who doesn't know better, you know, because he knows he has the weapons, and they truly do. Carolina's not a horrible team. They are a 1-5 team, but they're not as bad as their record shows. So they do have, you know, a lot of potential to win any game, especially this one. However, I feel that there's still not quite enough there for them to take on a much, much stronger Dallas Cowboy team. So the right side for me this week is the Dallas Cowboys minus the 2.5.
There we are. Monday night, the Chicago Bears are hosting the Detroit Lions. The line on this game, Bears favored by 6.5. Let's take a look at the Detroit Lions. This is a team, statistically, they match up extremely well. Defensively, in all of football, they're third. Who knew? Who would have thought? Offensively, they're extremely, actually they're ninth defensively, but they're second offensively. So again, they're a lot better than their record. ATS against the spread, again, I talked about them and the Steelers, both 1-4 ATS. The good news is, if you've been betting the Lions, hopefully you've been betting against them. Now, I have not done anything with the Lions up to this point, but let's slide on over and talk about their opponent, the Chicago Bears, led by Jay Cutler. Now, Jay Cutler, again, good and bad. You don't know from week to week. And as a professional sports bettor, I like continuity, consistency, and predictable situations. I love the Bears' defense overall, number one against the rush, only 65 yards per contest they're yielding against star running backs. So my right side for this contest, the Detroit Lions plus the 6.5. Again, underdogs tend to be undervalued. I've been doing this for years. I tend to take the points. I bet totals. I like betting the Detroit Lions. I have no idea why that Dallas Cowboy. Anthony, did you put that up? You're a Cowboy fan. Did Anthony slide in there and put that in? He's a diehard Cowboy fan. I like the Lions plus the 6.5. That's the right side.
You know, I think one of the most exciting things about this season is the fact that you've got teams like the Lions and the Falcons, you know, the Rams, teams that have just been kind of nothing the past few years. They're back in the discussion of real football teams. That's really fun.
It has to do with the old adage on any given Sunday, parity. There's not a big difference between a 10-6 team and, say, an 8-8 team. Everything's magnified. You play 16 games. Everyone's in it together. How many teams in the AFC are 3-3 going into this week? So, I mean, again, it's exciting for the league because the fans love it because no one's really out of it.
Yeah, in fact, I think there's, 2 teams in the AFC with records above 500? I mean, that's absurd. Now, you know, and for all the bad that is, you know, at some point in the season, the strong teams are going to pull away.
Cream tends to rise to the top, no doubt about it.
Well, you would know that better than anybody, Scott. Look, we have a great time with you every week. We obviously have fun with each other. And we love coming together every week to do this show for you. You know, our goal with this show is to do it in a different way. You know, there's sports betting shows all over the place, and we commend those guys for doing what they do and doing it well. We just want to do something that sticks with you in an entertaining way, you know, be informative, have a great time with you, as much fun as we have together, and that's what we look forward to doing here every week. So we appreciate you tuning in. Not only tuning in, but, you know, again, we do invite you on Vegas Video Network to, you can go to vegasvideonetwork.com/live. During the show, you can send us live chat questions just from your computer. If you have a microphone, you can send in email questions. We love hearing from people. In fact, we do have people already starting to do that.
We encourage the feedback, good, bad, or otherwise. We want you to feel like you are part of the show. There is a gentleman, Brian. Love you, Brian. Haven't met you, but keep those comments coming. We have offered a friendly one-on-one challenge. I said, Brian, let's go head-to-head. ATS against the spread, $5,000. Come on, man. Cowboy up. No pun intended. Brian, I know you want to go 500, okay, for the remaining 10 weeks, but trade in that 1974 Ford Mustang that you have. Ante up. We'll go head-to-head. ATS against the spread. The idea is we want feedback. Keep it coming.
See, I love it. I love that, you know, we're in the infancy stages of this show, and we're having so much fun with these people, and these people are so great. Thank you again. You know, continue to let us know what you think and interact with us, because it means the world to us, and it drives us every week. So that being said, it's another weekend. Scotty, what do you got going on?
Well, every day you can check out my plays on VegasInsider.com. That's VegasInsider.com. I've been with the network for quite some time. They have close to 1 million hits per day. You can also check me out on my site, Pritchard'sPicks.com. That's Pritchard'sPicks.com. I did a 2-day sports betting seminar at Harrah's on the Strip here in Las Vegas right before the football season started, and I'll be doing that again the day before the Super Bowl, Saturday, February 2nd. It's $600 per person. Go to my site, check it out. I'll be having another guest speaker again, Dink, who's featured in the movie Lay the Favorite, starring Bruce Willis as Dink. But enough about me. Boy, that was a bit long-winded. This is only a 30-minute show. Anthony, what are you doing?
Well, in addition to building up the nerve to challenge you to some games this weekend, which after I do, I will head to PritchardPicks.com to pick my winners before we go head-to-head. But once again, at the LVH, loving it. We're going strong, heading into our third month. Every night, Thursday through Sunday, 10 p.m. Come out. You've got myself, whatever friends show up. It's Comedy After Dark with me, my great host, Jeremy Wien, who hosts the you-know-what out of it. And in between there, it's just whoever shows up and we have some fun with. Great people every night, locals, tourists. Come out, bring some friends. We'll make sure we take care of you. That's pretty much all I got. Please check me out online, Facebook.com/Padilla Comedy. Same thing for Twitter, AnthonyPadillaComedy.com. You can hear me every day, Monday through Friday, on the Nick Monsanto Show. That is worldwide on the Sports Byline USA Network. Also, American Forces Network if you're in the military. I think that's it for me. I think that's pretty much it.
I like it. Great. I've seen the show at LVH. Check it out. I've also heard the show, the Nick Monsanto Worldwide Radio Show. Be sure and check that out. Anthony Padilla and I, Scott Pritchard, we're here every week, live, 12 o'clock noon Las Vegas time on the Vegas Video Network. Check us out, The Odds Couple. Have a great week.